Next speaker is Jay Yankey. Jay is the district manager of the Prince William Soil and Water Conservation District, vice president of the Prince William Fairfax Farm Bureau, and chairman of the Local Issues Committee. Jay is also owner of Yankey Farms, a fresh market fruit and vegetable farm in Nokesville. Yankey Farms grows a variety of produce which can be purchased in the summer at their Glenkirk Road roadside stand or through CSA subscription program. In the spring, you can visit to pick your own strawberries in the spring and pumpkins in the fall. Jay.
Thank you for the plug, Kim. I'd like to thank the Conservation Alliance for allowing me to be here this evening, provide a little perspective from the agricultural community. Of course, this is certainly a very important issue to many of us as landowners and farmers within the area. The current, Chris has kind of touched on a lot of the issues that are driving things here, and those of us that are working on the land in the rural area have over the past 15 years been very impacted by the probably lack of land preservation tools in the toolbox to have available to us to use. And with the 10-acre lot zoning being the primary tool for land preservation, I guess if you want to call it that, we've really been restricted because I think a lot of folks don't have a good handle on the amount of land it takes to have an agricultural operation or how that land is owned or managed. Most folks with a commercial agricultural operation have their base of operations, but also rent additional land. And with the 10-acre lot zoning, there's been pretty much a restriction put in place because if one of our rented properties is, for whatever reason, a family may need to sell that property, the only option for the last 15 years has been to sell that land to be essentially become a large lot residential use. And these 10-acre lots are frequently too small to farm. Some people are homesteading on them or utilizing them for equine property. So there is certainly some use for those properties, but a lot of us that are farming have been restricted because we're losing properties because once they get cut up into these large lot subdivisions, they're just not practical to bring equipment and things into to work these small fields. And at the same time, there's by not being able to have enough land to maintain your operation, then you get squeezed and eventually are forced to sell. And so the 10-acre lot as the only tool in the toolbox has really pushed a lot of commercial agriculture out of the area. Now, not to be all gloom and doom, there is a lot of opportunity with our proximity to not just the development area within Prince William County, but to Fairfax County, some of the developed areas of Loudoun County. We've got quite a customer base for a lot of direct marketed agricultural products, and that's what we mostly do on our farm, is target those folks. But again, our land use policies have not been nearly as beneficial to the producers in Prince William County as the policies of some of the neighboring counties. I'm looking to expand my operation and I'm looking to acquire more parcels of land. However, with the current zoning structure within the rural area, I don't have a lot of opportunities to get the development pressure off of that property, to be able to sell the development rights, to be able to sell lots on a portion of the property and be able to retain the whole property, because pretty much the zoning language says you're pretty much forced to cut it into 10-acre lots. So I can't compete against somebody who is going to develop it into 10-acre lots on price, and I'm not left with any options to work with the landowner. However, if I were to go into Fauquier County, Loudoun County, some of the other neighboring counties, they have some of those tools available. And we probably will get more into some of those tools as we get a little farther into the discussion tonight. But so folks in Prince William County are kind of at a disadvantage, and I'm hopeful, and some of us in the Farm Bureau are optimistic that we'll get some of those tools available, hopefully, through this process. And so just wanted to share that perspective that what we're currently doing is not working very well if the goals of the rural area are to preserve open space and farmland. And there's certainly a lot of tools available that are out there that are well tested, have been used in a lot of communities, that allow the rural landowners that may need to cash out of the property to be able to receive fair compensation for being able to do that, but to see that the land can remain as an agricultural, for agricultural production. Got a couple more points I want to get to that. One point that Chris touched on that I wanted to expand on a little bit is our current zoning, large lot zoning policy does not provide any permanent protection to that land in the future if you're looking at trying to preserve open space into perpetuity. In order to do that, you've really got to get conservation easements onto that property, and whether it be a purchase of development rights program, a transfer of development rights program, or some sort of a development strategy that preserves a parent parcel by using some smaller lots. That is, all those types of tools are out there, and we need to look at, because those are the only ways to provide any kind of meaningful permanent protection into the future. In addition to actually just the preservation of the land, if we're trying to encourage locally produced foods, the farmers markets, wineries, that type of thing, we really need somebody in county staff that can, in the economic development office, to work with those entrepreneurs in that area to help them develop those types of businesses. And again, that's something that's not foreign. Pretty much all the surrounding counties have those types of folks on staff. And again, producers in Prince William County would be at a disadvantage by not having that type of a program go hand in hand with what we're looking at from a land use perspective. I think I've covered most of what I wanted to talk about. Thought I could go on up here forever, but Chris touched on a lot of what I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to turn things back over to Ernie and try to pick some of the other things up in the question and answer portion. Thank you.